Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get back to the racing, and it's an E final in the men's singles sculls. In lane 1 for Georgia, Nicolas Kandelaki. In lane 2 for France, Bon Marin Mulot. And in lane 3 for Venezuela, Junior Vicente. They're underway, and Paul is with them. Paul, what's happening in these opening stages?
Well, it may be an E-final and a bit of a change in pace from the 8th we've just been watching to sculls, but that doesn't mean that these scullers are taking it anything less than extremely seriously. And the particular race decides positions 25, 26 and 27th overall in the world rankings this year for the junior scullers. And at 500 metres, the first to show the very aptly named Bon Marin Mulot comes from Rouen and sculling for France here, already with a clear water advantage at the head of the field, head of the Georgian sculler Nicolas Kandelaki and Junior Vicente. Then for Venezuela, still with contact to the Georgian in front of him. Now, FISA, the World Rowing Federation, has put an enormous amount of effort into developing rowing, particularly in Latin America and Asia, over the last couple of decades. Venezuelan rowing really came on the scene nationally from about 1983, when Venezuela hosted the Pan American Games. And like a number of other countries, notably in Latin America, but also sometimes in European and Asian countries, they have a joint rowing and canoeing federation. Now, that makes a lot of sense in many ways. Oarsmen and canoeists have a lot in common. They're both interested in good, clean water. They're interested in international competition level, of course, in nice, flat, calm, straight courses like Dorney Lake. And whether it's over 1,000 metres or 500 or 2,000, there's a lot to be said for getting together and talking to each other. And FISA, the World Rowing Federation, shares buildings in Lausanne, in Switzerland, in fact, with a number of other federations, and always in close contact with the canoeists, particularly build up to Olympic Games. As we've heard a couple of times here, the Eton course next year will also see the flat water canoeing being raced along this course as well. And France likely to put in a strong performance there in the canoeing, a very strong canoeing nation, strong rowing nation indeed. And Bon Marin Mulot, so aptly named, leads the field still at the halfway stage with a sizable gap of clear water ahead of the Venezuelan sculler and of the Georgian sculler as well. One of the most famous restaurants in Caracas is called El Remo, the rowing, and I think that's very suitable. I hope Venezuelan rowing will come on by leaps and bounds in the years to come. FISA's put so much effort into them, and neighbours and near neighbours like Colombia and Guatemala and so on. Those two countries also have a joint rowing and canoeing federation. And water sports, of course, are very natural kind of alternative to football in countries with a lot of rivers, a lot of waters, and of course a lot of sea coast. And the Venezuelan sculler, as I speak now, moving through into second position. Nous sommes maintenant en route avec Bon Marin Mulot de Rouen pour la France, qui mène en tête dans ce final E. Final E qui décide les positions 25, 26 et 27 ici ce week-end à Eton. Et après 1200 mètres à peu près qui sont déjà ramés, Bon Marin, Mulot mène en tête assez clairement devant la Venezuela et la Géorgie. 1,250 meters gone, and still Bon Marin Mulot of France well in the lead. And we are now taking you through a program this afternoon of this, the one and only E final, and then some D finals that decide positions 19 and onwards, and then concluding today's rowing program with the C finals of a number of sculling and one sweep or rowing event here as well. All eyes, though, focus now on the course. Do stay around, ladies and gentlemen. Don't disappear just because we've had the 8th medal ceremony. Well worth watching the remaining events here this afternoon. A lot of very good young oarsmen and women who deserve your applause. Some of them only narrowly missing, of course, direct to qualification. There were some very, very close heats and repêchages this week earlier on in the racing, and clearly some disappointment there for some of the scullers here. Only just missed out on perhaps the chance of further progression to the A final, and then find themselves in one of the so-called small or lesser finals. But no lesser a feat than them. They've all sculled or rowed down this course several times, a whole series of 2,000-metre races packed into just a very few days here, as is the custom at the World Rowing Junior Championships. Less than 500 metres to go now with this particular race. Still flat tarmated conditions. We've had all those all day. A hint of sunshine coming up at the start. Weather conditions can vary considerably down a course across any 2-kilometre course. What's definitely the case here on this course as we row down towards Windsor Castle and towards Heathrow is that the aircraft noise, of course, a lot louder in the finishing area. Aircraft taking off over this course, some very spectacular views. Canadian photographers getting terribly excited this morning about seeing a Qantas 380 taking off for a company I'm obviously not allowed to name because they're not yet prepared to sponsor international rowing. 250 metres to go to the line, and it's still the French sculler Jean-Marie Mulot who leads the field, but the Venezuelan sculler is not letting him get any further away, looks across it right round over his shoulder, realises he's just got 250 to go. A change of buoy colour from yellow to orange marks it for all of them, but he had a look round to see where the French sculler is. The Georgian sculler now also picking up his rate of striking, and after a long row down the course, all these three scullers still safely ahead of the umpire's launch. An umpire accompanies every race, a huge group of umpires here, and marshals, starters, umpires, and they, of course, make this event possible. A big thank you to all those, a lot of whom give up a lot of free time. They don't earn any money for doing it, and come here, and to all the other international events as umpires. A big thank you to them, clearly, for all their efforts that they put in as well. Just short of the line now in this E-final, the men's singles sculls, and a win there for France, which gives Jean-Marie Mulot 25th position overall in the world this year. Venezuela then in second, and Georgia in third.
Paul, thank you very much indeed, and congratulations to Jean-Marie Mulot for that win there. France coming first ahead of Junior Vincent of Venezuela in second. Nicolas